For several hours. Please go there. That's David D. Elgard's parents.
What are you talking about? They know where he is. Been here for 2 hours? Smart people. Okay, he's got the aircraft slowed right down. And you can see the slow speed that's allowed by the aircraft for the extraction or exiting whatever supplies that they are going to drop out the back. The ramp is open on the rear of the aircraft. You can see how the bottom section drops down. The upper section of that ramp goes right up towards the vertical stabilizer. And at this particular speed, this is the extraction speed they would be going if they were to drop out cargo and supplies out the rear of the aircraft. Now the maneuverability of this aircraft at this speed is really something else to behold. This is the same type of aircraft that they use for hurricane penetration missions. This is the approximate speed and attitude that they use entering a combat zone, coming through at 300 miles an hour. C-130 Lockheed Hercules. Tactical transport cargo aircraft. Was used as a gunship in Vietnam. Makes a high pitch up on the right end of the runway. They'll pull up to a high turn up there. We have 3 children from the Neely family over there at the flagpole that have been there for several hours. Jason, Jarvis, and John Neely. If your parents are out here, please go over to the flagpole lost and found area. You've lost your children and they've been waiting there for you for about 2 or 3 hours. You can find those children over there underneath the flagpole area. You can see the C-130 is at considerable altitude, and they're preparing the aircraft for a combat assault landing at this time. They're making all their airplanes. Feel free to look, take pictures, examine the aircraft, but please refrain from jumping, climbing, or touching them. They are fragile, and we appreciate your cooperation. Making a turn out there in preparation for a combat assault type landing is the C-130 from Pope Air Force Base down here in North Carolina. By extending the flaps on this aircraft, it increases the lift generated at slow speeds underneath the wings, and it allows it to stay flying at a slower speed and maintain controllability of the aircraft. You'll notice as he comes in for an assault type landing, the flaps should be fully extended. They can extend those in degrees, which increases the lift. The more flap you give it at a slower speed, it increases the lift on the wing. They hang down, it gives more lift to the wing. Well, not knowing whether the area surrounding the airfield is secure or not, the pilot must fly a high approach to avoid simulated small arms fire. He will keep the aircraft at a very steep final until about a half a mile from runway touchdown. On touchdown, they'll rapidly reverse all 4 engines to maximum braking power. Right there we have the touchdown, and he'll stop within the length of 80% of the world's runway. Now notice the change in the engine sound. He has the props into full beta or reverse thrust, and the aircraft comes to a complete stop in a very short distance. And this is an example of a combat assault landing.
Number 7 going to be ready.
This is the type of landing they would do in an unknown combat situation where they don't know if the surrounding terrain is secured by friendlies. Now here's the demonstration of the C-130 backing up. How many people have ever seen an aircraft back up? He is also lowering the rear ramp door on the aircraft. From Pope Air Force Base down in North Carolina, I believe they will be departing Hanscom for a return trip home. It looks like he will be making a pass back down through here, so as he comes by, if you haven't taken a picture of this aircraft in the air, now would be your last opportunity. They will give us one last flyby, and they'll rock the wings as they come by. So as they do, just grab something and wave it up in the air, show your appreciation for the members of the 41st Tactical Airlift Squadron. We'll give them a nice send-off on their return journey to Pope Air Force Base. Okay, start waving down here on the left end. Of the 41st Tactical Airlift Command out of Pope Air Force Base down in North Carolina. Taxiing out to our immediate front is a P-40E, a Curtiss Warhawk, a vintage 1942 aircraft. This was There are only 8 or 10 of these airplanes throughout the country that are flying. It's a beautiful rear airplane flying up there today. The top speed on this aircraft at altitude was just about 370. Could sustain a tremendous amount of damage and still complete its mission and get the pilot back home. Now the shark's mouth that's painted on the nose of this airplane, according to legend, came about because there was one of the pilots that said that he had heard a story about the Japanese being an island people who were deathly afraid of the shark. So he said, let's paint the mouth of a shark on the nose of the airplane. And he said as he crosses the field at about 325, he pulls the nose up and rolls the aircraft all the way around in a victory roll. That airplane is brought down here by the National Warplane Museum from Geneseo, New York. They have their P-17.
Look at the buttons on the stick and the throttle.
Huh?
Look at the buttons on the stick and the throttle.
There's the stick. Oh, yeah.
Look at you got about 25 things you can do on that stick. Right there. And then the throttle on the left.
Oh, yeah.
That is unbelievable. There's so much going on in there.
It's this indoor business.
What's that?
Give them a big wave as he comes by here. We really appreciate this demonstration out here today, Jim. Fine job. It's the S2S Fit Special. If you're interested in buying a Fit Special, talk to Jim about it. He's an authorized agent for this aircraft. And he's based up in Chicago for us. There's also a promoter of the Quantum Air Show out there at Quantum Air. And he also puts on the Sugar Bush Air Show in the colors of the Colonel William Bailey that originally flew this aircraft in 1944 and 1945 with the 353rd Fighter Group in Raiden, England. It was the 352nd Fighter Squadron. And this is a totally 100% authentic paint scheme. It was researched before it was put on the aircraft. And Don Davidson personally talked with William Bailey about the color configuration on the aircraft. Now above the windscreen on that lead P-51, which is Don Davidson's, you'll notice mounted on the top of the canopy area is a rear view mirror. Now this enabled the pilot to keep a good eye on the tail section of his airplane to see if there were any enemy fighters on it. But the interesting part of the whole story is that these airplanes were not designed with this rear view mirror. When they got to England, due to the ingenuity of the American ground crews, the Supermarine Spitfire, which was an English fighter, was equipped with a rear view mirror mounted on the top of the windscreen. All of a sudden, a lot of P-51s in the 8th Air Force began appearing with rear view mirrors. A little lost boy about 3 years old, his name is Anthony. He's wearing blue shorts with a yellow stripe, and he's a little blonde fella. And directly to our rear, making an approach, is the B-17, and cutting across the front of that airplane is the P-51.
That's better. Get the bomber, would you, for God's sakes? Obviously, you were raised by a fighter pilot. Keep that on the film, too. Without bombers, those guys would have had no reason to go fly.
The last time that little lost child was seen, it was somewhere behind the bleacher area, or the VIP area. The little blonde fella, his name is Anthony, and he's got blue shorts with a yellow stripe on. So if you see this little guy, how about doing his mom and dad a big favor and taking him over to the lost and found area, or find a security patrolman and have him taken over there? We thank you for your cooperation. A little blonde kid named Anthony, he's about 3 years old. Kevin, Matthew, and Ryan, your dad's looking for you. If you're around, go over to the flagpole area by the brick building. Your dad will be over in that area.
It's too far off
It's
for
10, 10, and 6. Kevin, Matthew, and Mike, was it? Ryan. Come on. Go to the lost and found area. Your dad's looking for you. To the flagpole, please.
Where are the 51s?
Over to your left.
Oh, did they fly by?
Kevin and Brian to the mound area.
Or the 51s?
You'd like to get down in that New England Escudero area. The gates are still open. You can put it out along that flood line.
You ever met Don Davidson?
skies in majestic red over. We all of us, the Warbird area and the Warbird movement. Oh, we will be able to maintain these. Nice job, Austin. Nice job, Bob.
Pilots are okay.
A super slow roll, P-51 all the way down the runway. Halfway down, he's in first. 3/4, one full slow roll in the P-51 Mustang. This aircraft initially was designed and built and flown in 117 days. British put in an order to North American. They wanted Gina as he rolled at 1-2, they inverted 3 and a 1-point hesitation roll in P-51.
Unfair question if you're recording the answer. Is them going down that way, John? One more time, but they'll take off. Blowing them all out. 3 to 3, right? Sometimes it's hard to spot it. Spot exactly.
boys. Sprint.
He's dirty. Good, all 30. I heard that the Hanscom Pilots Association was, and they had a tent somewhere, but I don't know where. Okay. Ooh.
4. They're going to come back and do their bomb burst.
Sure hope so.
Yep, that's what it is.
It's one of my favorites since the
Here it
50s. Except these two were 4.
And then they'll all cross over at Show Center.
Oh yeah.